Hello and welcome back. McCasley here. Today we are going to finally get working with that oil we collected last time and get processing it. Here we've got, I'm in a creative world. We're going to look at just kind of the process of oil processing, and then we'll get setting up our semi-complicated processing setup here. So let's get into it. So before we get into the whole setup, there's a couple items I wanted to go over that are important and newer to the 1.12 version of Buildcraft. I mean, newer, it's been out for a long time, but something that's going to be important for what we're doing. So first off is the heat exchanger, and it is crafted like so. Iron ingots, some iron gears, some glass in that pattern. And you're going to need at least 3 of them to create this kind of multi-block setup for the exchanger. And essentially what this does is you pump in cold fluids to the bottom part here, and this can be arranged anyway, right? So if I went this way, you can see it points the other direction. So, but you pump in cold fluids in here, and it comes up, and you pump in hot fluids in here, and it basically cools the heated fluids and heats up the cool fluids so that you can use them for different processing things that we'll go over here in a minute. And now there's several different ways to set up this processing. I'll link a few different charts that people have made on Reddit or whatever in the description below. They kind of go over the different process maps for this, but we're just going to cover the one that I'm going to be using. So, and then essentially what you do is you then, after you've either heated it up to whatever heat you need it, there's cool, hot, and then searing, and different fluids at different levels process into other different fuel. You'll see it here in a minute. And then you pump them into a distiller, which used to be called the refinery, but the distiller takes it and changes it from one fluid into 2 separate different fluids. So let's come over here. Let's take a look at the setup we're going to set up. So this is kind of a flow chart of what we're going to do in our. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the cold oil in that we collected, and we're going to heat it up so that it is hot oil, and we're going to process it from there. Actually, let's go ahead. Need real quick. One. We will need some lava to get this kickstarted for the first time with this process, but after that, it actually only needs some water for cooling down, and everything else is kind of self-sustaining. So if I take and I put lava in this side, one, maybe, go. Let's try that again. Put lava in the side, and then we can turn this on. It'll come up here. The lava will get heated up. Sorry, the oil will get heated up. The lava just turns into smoke because it doesn't have. There's not a cool version of lava, right? And then the oil comes up here into the hot oil tank, right? So we're going to take the hot oil and we're going to distill it in our distiller. So let's turn this over. We got power on. Now the distillers need an input fluid, an output fluid, 2 output spots, right, and power, which we'll go over again. So taking that oil, the hot oil, splitting it, and it is turning into mixed light fuels hot, and then dense oil hot, right? So then I'm actually going to take this mixed light fuels and I'm going to cool it down by running it over the oil. So this is what I was talking about. I needed 1 bucket of lava to kickstart this, but after this, these hot fuels that I'm trying to cool down will cool down while heating up the oil. So it's pretty pretty nifty. That's what's called a heat exchanger, right? It changes heat from one liquid to another. So this will just keep going. And then I take this mixed light fuels, cool, and I'm going to distill it. And it's going to give us our two of our final outputs, which is light fuel cooled and gaseous fuel cooled. And those, you can only burn cool fuels in combustion engines, right? So you can't, you can't use a gaseous fuel hot or searing in an engine. It has to be a cool variant of the fuel. So now we've got two fuels we can use. They do different things. If we come in here, we got the light fuels, we have mixed light fuels, and we have gaseous fuel. Sorry, light fuels, gaseous fuels, and dense fuel are the three fuels that we can use, right? So in a combustion engine, dense fuel gives us only 4 megajoules per tick, but it burns for 4,500 seconds, right? So total of 360,000 megajoules, right? So very efficient fuel, but it gives us a low output. Whereas light fuel is kind of in the middle. It gives us 6 megajoules, so more, but it only gives us overall 90,000 because it's only running for 750 seconds. And then gaseous fuel is even less, right? We're only getting 15, but we're getting 8 megajoules per tick, right? So it burns faster, but it gives us more. So if you need a lot of energy out of all of your engines, you need them all to produce 8 megajoules, this is the fuel to use. If you need one that's just gonna keep going forever, it's this dense fuel that you want. But we're gonna use all three because that's what we do. Let's actually come over here and let's look at this dense crude oil. The dense oil hot. So we're actually going to heat this up to searing. So we're going to need our lava input once more. And we'll take that and we'll heat it up to searing level. So we'll get dense oil, which we will then distill into dense fuel and residue, which again are our two other outputs. And but we can't use it at searing level, so we need to actually cool it down. So we're going to bring that other dense fuel down here, and we are now going to use that to heat up our dense oil, which will cool it down, and then we're actually just going to use water to cool it down again. Can we use our dense fuel and our residue? We're actually going to just cool down twice with water. Now residue we're going to use to create pipe sealant. Come on. So you can use it for that. That's the main thing, so I don't have to keep using slime balls or green dye. It's a much more efficient way since we get it out of it anyway. So that's kind of the overall of how it works, and let's take a quick look at the setup we're going to actually use. So this is what we're actually going to build. It's essentially that same workflow, right? But a lot more compact and going to process a lot more fuel at once, right? So I've got this set up so that our cold oil is going to come in here, and it's going to run into 5 different exchangers, heat exchangers, that are going to come and get start processing the hot oil here in these distillers, and then that hot mixed fuels is going to get pumped up and actually cool off here. Now I set this up a little goofy, so this is one up where it's using water. This was supposed to be an overflow kind of breaker when I first set it up, but then I realized I didn't actually flow any of these extra ones into there, so it's okay. We might fix this, we might change this out and just have it pump in oil, we'll see. But then again, we process that, and over here, and we get our two fuels. And then on the other side of this is where we're taking and doing the um, process with the dense fuels, right? So we're taking the dense fuel, heating it up with the mixed fuel, or sorry, with the dense fuel that we're getting here, as well as with the residue. And then we're cooling off the residue once here, and the dense fuel once here. Anyway, so there's kind of our compact setup. We'll go over and build it in survival mode. All right, over here we are going to set up our what we just looked at in creative. I want to put it up in the air 1, so that we can access most of the stuff from below. So if we come here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. An even number. Alright, so we're going to come in here, we're going to come leaving space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to come in here, we're going to put a, where did they go? Blue, black. I'm going to put a black one here, I believe. Gives us a little room front. We gotta go see. Sorry, I'm looking at my diagram here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Alright. So this is gonna be basically where our input is for the oil. So we'll come from over here, and I'll route that after we kind of get the rest of the pipes in here. So we'll need that, and then we're gonna go forward 1, 2, 3, and do our pink wooden pipes. So 1, 2, 3, boom. There's gonna be 5 of these. Oh, I literally just said that I wanted to do these one up, and here I am putting them right on the floor. Alright, there we go. And I'll probably get rid of these blocks here in a little bit, and then from there, we're going to do the iron. And I don't have enough of all the colored perfectly, but we're going to start with what we got, and then I've got paintbrushes. We will paint the pipes. This is to make sure that everything that we're putting in here isn't going to kind of mix together, right? So we're going to come out from here. Ooh, let's sleep, actually. Okay, so let's come back here. We're going to come back and bring this back 4. So 1, 2, 3. Just generic ones 4. Which is where I got marked here. This is going to be close to the end. So we'll dig this out a little bit more. I wasn't sure exactly how much room I need when I first was digging this hole out. So we come in here, grab our pink paintbrush. There we go. Now, blue, right, not a lot of those, but essentially we need to do, we'll have a blue one here, and here, and here, and here, and 1, 2. You don't have to follow this exactly, and I might cut out a good portion of this, just kind of show a layer at a time. I'm not sure yet. See how long this gets, but it'll come in here. Again, I'm just following that, what I did in creative mode. We'll get to the point where we explain this. What's going on here. So I'll speed this part up. Yep, I put this in the wrong spot. This back one. There. Get rid of these. I'm going to place these distilleries so they're facing this way. You'll see why in a little bit. I guess it doesn't really matter which way these are facing, but do that for now. And then up here, so this is essentially the cold, raw oils coming in. We need it to go into these heat exchangers. Now, we're going to do these 5 of these across like this. And I think now I've only got 4 coming in with oil and 1 with water. And the reason I'm doing that is because I always seem to have like overflow issues where there's like one that just isn't. It always gets stuck. Literally, it gets too much fluid in the system, and it makes it really hard to like. I don't know. You have to come back and like manually work with it. So I've kind of set up this system with all these different ones. So let's add one more set here. That should help it just to keep running autonomously, right? Anyway, so again, we're going to come in. Oil's going to come up here, go into these heat exchangers, like we talked about, heat up. Oop. And then from there, I think so we need to take the hot oil off the top here. We're going to bring it all over here. Now I should do iron ones here actually. Let's do one. And this one doesn't need one because it is just going to be steam coming up there. So put gold one here and iron ones here. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to wrap this around. And it's going to come into here. So we're going to then distill this hot oil. And that's again just going to be steam, as you saw. And it's going to come in here. The heavy or dense oil, the hot dense oil will come out this way. We'll start refining it over here. And the where's our yellow right there? hot light fuel will come up here and heat up the oil and cool it down so that we can process it over here, which is what we want, because again, processing the cool light mixed fuels is going to get us those two gaseous and light fuel in a state that we can actually burn immediately, which is nice. Now in my mock-up one, I had these separated out one, and I don't know if that's necessary, especially with painting stuff. So let's do this. Kind of want to, and it doesn't really matter which way they face, but I usually like to have them face the other way. Yeah, my OCD is gonna kick in. I'll probably have to change those ones on the backside too. Anyway, so I'm gonna set these up. So the oil comes in, gets refined. We're gonna have 5 of these again, so that the system doesn't get clogged up waiting for something to get processed. Alright, gonna run our power across the front here. Actually, it's always have to be powered, which is where this line comes in. Okay, so then what we need to do then is we need more of the wooden ones. Come out here. I'm actually going to paint these yellow. Or, actually, let's paint these green. I didn't grab green. Alright, it's getting dark. I'm going to sleep. I'll grab a green paintbrush, and we're going to have the light fuel be green. We'll pump it over there. And the gaseous fuel we're going to pump up into here. And if that's full, it'll pump over to there. Alright. Sleep, and we'll get back. Alright, here we are back. Paint these. Connect. Actually, these are ready to pipe out, so get a few iron. We'll use this here, but we'll repaint it. Do we not have? Oh, here we go. And I just did that wrong. We want one here on the end, and then we want iron, 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 and then here, right? We'll paint those. Perfect. Let's grab our wrench and make sure these are all pointed the right way. In fact, let's go around and do a quick check. Nope, that way, that way, that way, and that way. Those are all right. Let's come up here. These are wrong. I need to point all to this way. And then up here. That way and point that way. These are pointed the wrong way. Like that. Cool. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these pulsars on here while I'm thinking about it. Just activate them. I mean, it doesn't hurt me to have them on there. See, because now I have a hard time getting in there, accessing that middle row. And we're good. Alright. Now we just need to do the same thing down here for up there. Let's get our wooden extraction. And we have a lot of yellow food, so we'll use that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do iron. 1, 2, 3. Gold here. Iron, iron, iron. Gold here. And then paint them so they don't, not that they're close to anything, but also, oop, and a yellow paint. Alright, well, we'll wait till we have to go grab something else before we take time to go get more dye. Let's make sure these are all facing the right way. Boom, boom, boom. Let's also put on the pulsars. Okay, perfect. So essentially this half of it is set up. We just need to put the power pipes on and obviously pipe these to where they need to go and then pipe in the oil, but that is essentially set up unless this doesn't work. So before we get too crazy, I wonder if I added that extra pipe in because I had to have it there. I guess we'll see. We might end up having to redo this whole section here, which makes me want to redo it now instead of having to do it when we got fluid in there. Okay, let's move this forward. Actually, I'm going to change this up a little bit. We're going to pull that out the front. Just make it not as tall to make it look nice. And 4. Okay. Alright. Let's go back and check these again. Nope. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. I think we're reset up there except for our pulsars. It's going to save us from potentially having to redo it later. So I'm happy with that. On this one, we can either come back and over. Let's do that. Or we can mimic the top. Yeah, let's mimic the top. So let's take, we need some more iron. Some diamond green ones. Come like this, and then we're going to sleep. Check they're going the right way. And there we go. Alright, this really is all ready to go, minus power, and obviously hooking inputs and outputs up. So this front section is nearly done. Alright, so now for this backside. Alright, so what we want to do is I want to bring this up here. One. And then it is going to feed into a heat exchanger. So we got to go from hot to searing in order to process this. So it's going to come up. I believe it's this way. Nope. Where's that? Direction that you place those is super important. So we'll come here, here, and here. Perfect. And these things you have to finagle with. You got to place the pipes after you place these. Anyway, then we're going to have one. Let's see if we're looking at it this way. We're going to have two more going this way. So we're going to have see if we can get up here. And no. One, two, three. And this will be used to cool off the searing to get it back down to where we can use it. Oop. Alright. Go around. Maze of pipes here. So these are to come up here. It's going to heat up. And we're going to use the one of our cooling cycles will be actually used to heat this to searing, right? So we'll have to kickstart again with lava, just like we're going to do over there, but we'll only need that one bucket of lava. So it's going to come in here, and we're going to come out. I think I figured out what's wrong here. I got this facing the wrong way. These things aren't making sense to me. Alright, so we're going to go like this. There we go. Because we're going to put this back in to get cooled off, and we're going to have water coming up there. Alright, so it comes up here, and then we're actually going to put the distiller. Alright, this way. I mean, dang my OCD. Alright. Put it like this. Alright, that way we're coming to the front where that tank is. Alright, so we're coming in here, and then from there, we get at least two more of these. Oh, I had one right there. Alright. Going to come up the top, and that is actually going to come over, down. Did I bring any sandstone? I did not. Sandstone would be perfect right here. That's okay. That's what the pipe plugs are for. So it's going to come down and go into this exchanger here. And actually, I'm going to paint this orange because at this point, we're now looking at dense fuel, which is our third and final fuel that we're getting from this. Gosh dang. Extremely unhelpful. and this coming out of here. Again, I don't need this pipe plug, but this is just going to be water coming out of here, so I don't need that trying to go there. This is pink still until it gets distilled. Perfect. And then a pulsar up here before we go down. And then we're going to come down here and extract out of here into there. Perfect. So let's paint that purple. I don't have purple. We'll go pink. Maybe we'll come back in if we need to. We'll come back and get purple. Because this is going to be residue. So it's going to pump out residue, which we're going to use to heat up stuff, as well as a lot of other things. We can use it to make more pipe sealant, for example. So if we take a look at this here, we've got this coming into here to cool off, and then it actually needs to come over one more. So once it gets cooled off here, it's going to make it hot instead of searing. And then let's make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. I'm piping this out the wrong side. So come in here, and we're going to put it this way. And again, put a little thing in there. Perfect. There we go. And then we actually need 3 more heat exchangers. I am 3 short. Because essentially what this will do is the residue will come out here. And it'll come right just back over into here. And we'll go get the purple, I think. For now it'll be pink. And that'll cool it off. So this will heat up that stuff to searing. Here. And then it'll come over and cool off to cool before we then pipe it off to where it needs to go. And this is orange here. And our next heat exchangers, which again I'm 3 short, so I'll get those. And they'll need to be facing that way, and they'll get water from here. Alright, so I got some kinesis pipes, and now essentially what we need to do is we need to get this over it, we need to power each of these distilleries, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to come in here. That's where we need to go, so we're going to come in and come over 1, over, and up, and come in here. Not the prettiest thing, but that's okay. Let's get into that, and then I'm actually going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around this way. And then we'll just come up here and there. Boom. Alright, now we've got power. We'll obviously have to kickstart those off with some more oil just to get this whole process started. But once we get going, I think it will work pretty well. So what we're going to do is bring this yellow line in here. Need another iron one, I think. Oh, I have. Oh. And we're going to bring the yellow line over, down to here. But this is where I'm going to put this iron pipe in, and the yellow this way. And for now, I'm going to set up a gate system here, so that when this is full, it will actually shoot this stuff this way, right? Now, something else we might do here is we might just have everything go over and then have a separate fuel line that runs in here to these. Though the second power tower, I think I'm going to have use the regular fuel here. And then the other stuff will ship off to be used for power elsewhere. And actually, I'm going to set up some craft tweaking recipes with immersive petroleum so that we can actually refine some of these fuels into the other mods type fuels. I think that's kind of what my process is going to be. Anyway, we're going to sleep, and then we'll get the rest of these outputs hooked up and start bringing over the oil and get it going. Alrighty, I think we're ready to turn the system on and see how it does. The only thing we have yet to do is to pipe this cooled thing over there. And to finish piping this stuff over here. But I want to see if it works first. We can shut it off before it gets too full, and we'll go from there. So, for now, we're going to have to manually turn this on. Let's go up to our fluid storage. I'm going to set these up with gates. I don't have it ready today, so we won't show it, and we're running really long. So I've been rambling a lot. Hopefully I cut a lot of that out for you guys. But just come up here. I'm going to close that roof. Come down here. Now I've just got this as an... This doesn't require a pulsar apparently, but any other pipe doesn't work there, so I'll come put a gate on here that will, when I don't want this to extract, it'll block that gate. Anyway, there we go, and we're flowing. So check it out. weird visual bug. I don't know why it randomly is treating some of these blocks like grass. Let me start my Minecraft and see if that still does it. We'll come in here. I'll clean this all up too. I'll look at that. And this is absolutely not going to work because we need a few things that I totally spaced on. First off, we need power. And second off, we need a couple of lava buckets to kick that off. So let's come over here. Let's actually just grab this. So it's going back and forth. Yeah, and I'll finish out this fluid processing building. Alright, so we're going to need to kick off right here. And right here. Ugh, it's hard to get up there. Actually, one might have been enough, but we'll try to kick these off here. Anyway. Oh, actually it won't be enough because we don't have enough power to this yet. Oh man. Kind of an important step. So let's just get, doesn't matter which one it goes to. Oh, wrong side. We get 4 in there, I think. Alright. Let's just go get power and we'll figure it out from there. Yeah, my concrete's doing the weird wavy thing too. Not sure what's going on there. Let's see. Oh, see, these are already full. So, all the ones that already have oil in them, let's run those. It'll probably run slowly at first until we start getting some fuel up there. Oh, there it goes. And now we are literally cooking with gas. Alright, so far it's getting heated up. It's getting refined. We're getting the heavy oil to go this way. That's perfect. Aha, we need, of course. Here for now. I'll pick that back up. We also need to kickstart this system here. Oh my gosh. That should be all the kick-starting we need to do. Like the smoke particles that it shoots out. Oh my gosh. Alright, looks like we might be doing just solid. So, you know, what are we going to do with all this fuel here? Still some lava in there. because this isn't a full bucket that's coming through here, right? So this will actually probably build up for a minute. It's gonna get stuck over here. I need some more gold, so we need more gold pipes. But looks like everything is running smoothly. Oh, and there we go. Got fuel going. Now this green line doesn't go anywhere. But we are filling up. Oh, we have a ladder here. Went all around for nothing. And there we go. We're starting to fill our engines with gaseous fuel. And I just realized only these ones are going to fill up because I never finished the top there. Fail on the power tower. A little disorganized all over the place, but there you guys have it. That's the gist of it. I'm gonna clean all this up off camera. You don't have to suffer through more of that. If you did sit and suffer through all this, I appreciate it, and hope you got something out of here. I'll try to put chapters on the bottom here so you can skip through what you need to. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and button up this building, clean all this up, clean up my power tower, fix whatever's going on with my shaders. It's causing P random blocks to be all wavy, and we'll go from there. And appreciate it, and we'll get into some more fluid oil fuel production using immersive petroleum, as well as we need to get Galacticraft, and we need to get Mr. Crayfish fuel, which I think I'm gonna make a craft tweaker recipe that we use these fuel and dense fuel for that to process that again into those fuels. Just instead of having to set up separate machines, I think it is more immersive or whatever. But there we have it, and I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time.